I think I'm gonna go Acolyte, just for the simple fact is I
Okay.
feel more opinionated about the Acolyte than the other two.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Acolyte first and foremost. Before we do, I'm going to catch you up as we always do with what we've missed from the episodes. And we're just going to, again, we're not going to be doing mad deep alt recaps because there's so much to discuss. But I'm going to bring you up to speed and remind you of what's happened with the Acolyte so far. And 3 episodes in, and we've met Osha and May, two don't say dyad twins who've got force powers of varying factors. Osha can basically do a droid's work repairing ships and misses close-up blaster shots after getting the boot from Coruscant as a youngling. May, on the other hand, is capable of killing Trinity from the fucking Matrix and talking another Jedi into drinking poison. I think one slightly more powerful than the other. May is halfway through a mission assigned to her by a mysterious Sith to kill 4 Jedi, having already offed Trinity, aka Andara, as well as Torben. She's now pushing Osha's Master Sol, or pursuing Osha's Master Sol. Lee Jung-jae from Squid Game, by the way. Excellent casting, I love it. And a Wookiee Jedi, Kel Naka, for reasons unknown. But we have an inkling from Torben's willful, guilt-ridden suicide that the Jedi have done something bad. We get a sense of that in episode 3 when we learn that Osha and May were raised as witches to use the thread, as they refer to the Force, as kids until our gang of dodgy Jedi came calling, and their presence led to an explosion that saw the entire coven, and until recently it was also assumed May to perish. Oh, and by the way, Jason from The Good Place is in this too and is amazing. That is the Acolyte so far, the high level notes on it. And Jerry, you have a lot of thoughts. You went to see this, so again, this was
Mhm.
something that I was raging I had to miss the premiere in the Lighthouse
Yeah.
Cinema. So you've had a few weeks to kind of sit with this show.
Mhm.
So far, it's getting like, let's call a spade because I think we have to bring this in. This is getting review bombed in a big, big way. It's currently
Mhm.
rated 3.6 out of 10 on IMDb, which for me personally is wild. Do you think that's fair? What are your thoughts on the Acolyte?
No, I don't think that's fair. That's far too low, but I'm certainly not going to give it a 10.
Hmm.
For me, watching it in the cinema was fantastic. It was like watching, going to see Ahsoka again, and the atmosphere, people dressed up. You get to sit down, you watch the 2 episodes. Very, very, they were over very quickly. Not that they were short episodes, just over very quickly. And I thought this is great. I'm liking this. I'm liking the story. I think the story is great. I think the characters, I like the characters so far. I don't subscribe to this shit of too many women. No, give me all the women. I don't care. I don't
Mhm.
give a shit. Give me men, women, non-binary. I don't give a shit. Just give
Mhm.
me good characters, and they're good characters so far. I'm loving Saul. I'm like, I've
Mm.
wanted this type of character for so long in Star Wars. We finally have it. I'm like, he's just badass. Absolutely love it. Um, I'm hating the fact that Star Wars fans are being Star Wars fans,
Yeah.
and it's just pissing me off. I'm like, you're not even giving it a chance. Is this show perfect? No. I think some of the dialogue is a bit clunky. I think some of the acting is a bit clunky. But we're proper Star Wars fans. You give it a chance. You have to give it a shot. I'm loving the fact that people have been like comparing the certain thing that happened in episode 3 to, oh, that's a Star Wars ruined now. They've ruined the chosen one stuff. No, they haven't. Don't be a gobshite. If you just look at it and actually think about what they did, it's actually quite clever. It's quite well done. Shut the fuck up and just get on with your life and stop being a dick. You know, I thought we're 3 episodes in. It it hasn't gripped me the way, say, first season Mandalorian has. It hasn't gripped me like that, but I'm interested. I'm liking the character. I'm liking the fact that we got Jedi Tom and Baratheon. Which is he was there for a whole 30 seconds, and he for whatever reason he's like a young face, but he's going bald as shit. He's supposed to be old. I'm like, no, no, no. Like he was only like a Padawan a couple of years ago, and then you're telling me he's this master that's gone bald. No, back off. Don't be so silly. But it's getting me in. This week was definitely different. Definitely different this week. I like the fact that it was a flashback. I like the fact that we're still getting those characters that are actually gone. It's very, very interesting. The characters for me, especially Saul, I'm loving Saul. It's just something about having like a. I've always wanted kind of like a samurai style Jedi. That's what I've wanted, and he's kind of giving me that. It's he's really good. I like his look. I like people giving out about the lightsabers. I'm like, lads, you're getting new lightsabers. Shut up. You know, all different colors, all different shapes and sizes. Just get on with it. Just give this show a chance. Like review bombing it the way it is. Like it's so low on Rotten Tomatoes. It's so low on IMDb. It does not deserve that. It deserves some people that will at least give it a chance.
Yeah,
that's all we're asking. Give it a chance. I think a lot of Disney stuff has just been hated on because it's just not made by George Lucas.
Yeah, agree.
You know, you look at the sequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy. That was hated. But now because everyone hates Disney, oh, that's brilliant, isn't it? That's great.
Yeah.
I personally like the sequels, the prequels, and the originals. You know, you have to give it a chance. We're getting new Star Wars.
Yeah.
This is something that we've never seen before. 100 years before Luke Skywalker. Yeah. All new characters, all new ships. Like I'm loving like a new little droid that's actually just a fucking calculator. You know, it's great.
Yeah,
just fucking stop moaning and whining. it's not perfect. What is? Nothing.
Yeah. Agree.
It's perfect. Just get on with it.
Yeah, agree. I'll go one step further. This is a good show.
Yeah.
Is it an amazing show? No, but it's a good show. There's a lot to offer here. It's an interesting story. It challenges the Jedi. There's some good theorizing that we can get stuck into. We don't know what's going to happen and can't do the maths because we're in a timeline that we don't know what's going on. But there are also the possibility of like Yoda could show up at any stage. Yeah. You know, you can have Hu Yang can show up at any stage as well, because we have these people that we know exist within the universe and could, like, in theory, be there. So there's for me, this is a good show. I enjoy it. And again, it's just any property in nerd culture these days that has women at the forefront of it. We saw it with the Marvels last year as well. That was actually quite a good movie. Was it the best Marvel movie? No. Is this the best Star Wars series? No. Well, is it good? Yes, this is fine. And there's a lot to get stuck into. And I just wish you could talk about it. And I don't want to get bogged down in the discourse, but we do have to discuss it. I just want to take that away and say, this is a fucking good show. And I want to talk about the things that matter. Like, there's a lot of cool things here. I like them challenging the Jedi. I like the murder mystery aspect of it. Again, I heard it described as not a who done it, but a why done it. Because we kind of know after episode 2, right, the Jedi did something, but what did they do and why did they do it? And we, again, thought we were getting answers in question 3 that we just never got. It's still quite open. And I like the theory that, again, episode 3 was a flashback, but it was maybe a flashback from one person's perspective. And then when we see it from another perspective, actually things look different, because we definitely didn't get answers to what did the Jedi do. I like the different fighting styles. I like the Jedi Fu. Like, that is fucking awesome. The fact that they're kind of not just using blasters and lightsabers, but they're there if possible. The casting is excellent. Like, I love Jason from The Good Place. Just such clever casting choices that I'm really, really into. So this show has a lot to offer. I'm into it, and I'm glad we're on the same page here. Again, fuck off, review bombers. Like, stop ruining Star Wars for everyone. So there's a few questions I do want to get into again, and we could talk for 3 hours just on the Acolyte alone, but again, the nature of the show and having to cover 7 episodes total, I want to get into the big hitters. What did the Jedi do? What are your thoughts? Because we don't actually know. We know there was an explosion from episode 3. Again, it seemed to lean that May started the explosion, but also, like, again, what she did in starting the fire and threatening Osha wouldn't suggest that could escalate that quickly and have that damage. But also, it's very convenient timing if the Jedi were ready to explode something at the same time as May lit that fire. So we don't really know. They're not really acting in a way that suggests they did something that we've seen. So obviously there's more going on behind the scenes. What do you think that is? And what do you think left Torben and the Jedi feeling like they did the right thing at the time, but now in hindsight, kind of knowing they fucked up and maybe feeling like they deserve to die? At least Torben did. Saul a bit more in the middle. Indara and Kelnaka, they seem very nonplussed about the whole thing. So what are your thoughts on this?
To me, it looks like, okay, so maybe May did start that fire, okay? But we're talking about maybe she just started a fire outside that room and maybe she did it accidentally. Did she set a chain of events that the whole place explodes and goes up in flames? Not a fucking hope.
Mm.
Not a hope. And I suspect it was the Jedi that actually did it. But as to why they did it, we don't know the exact reasons. But it has to be something to do with the fact that this coven was using the Force, and the Jedi do not like anybody using the Force unless you're Jedi.
Mm.
And you could see how they were so scorpy with those women. Oh, we have no. We're taking these girls. What? Sorry, you just no. No, that's not how this shit works. You don't just take. So clearly, this is actually what the Jedi have done all these hundreds of thousands of years. Is that they're not asking. They're not saying, "I think we should take this child and train them." No, they're just going in and taking them. So you know what? The Jedi don't seem to be quite as good as we really think they are,
No.
and that's very very clear in this. So I think, depending on, I don't know who maybe say ordered it, but I think they might have said, right, we need to get rid of this coven. We need to. They're clearly dark side users. You know. Fuck off! Like it's like looking at American politics. Oh, clearly Joe Biden is evil, and we have to sort him out. It's kind of the same thing. This is what
Mm.
they did. It's clearly that these women are evil. They clearly weren't evil. They were just living their best life, and these girls were being kind of shown the ways of these. Do we call them night sisters? I don't know. Are we
No, I
calling them
think they're
night?
just witches. I
They're
think
just
just
witches.
witches
Yeah.
is all we've heard. Yeah,
Um, I liked, I have to say, I liked the whole aspect of it. I liked the idea that these women manipulated the Force. And think about that very clearly. They manipulated the Force. This is not the Anakin chosen one thing where it was the Force that created Anakin. This was these women manipulated the Force. So it's the Jedi, it's like the Jedi manipulating the Force
yeah.
themselves. So it's a completely separate thing. And all these fucking theorists can absolutely fuck off. It doesn't ruin Anakin's story because nothing can,
Yeah.
because it's a great story, and if you never looked at anything again, just watch that and just piss off, and
Yeah.
just absolutely piss off. Great idea. I thought the cast, the twins, the young twins, I thought were actually really good. I'm loving the different styles. I'm loving the different makeups and things like that. But I definitely think the Jedi looked at these women and thought, these are as close to a Sith as we can possibly get. They need to go, and that's actually what happened. They killed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I
now
think
I
I like the American politics comparison there. Of whatever side you're not on, you feel is evil when you're that entrenched in your beliefs.
Yeah.
I love that comparison because that feels right. Again, the Jedi feel like they're doing the right thing. Again, it's like, you can feel like in America right now with Trump, the reason Trump supporters feel like they do and they feel as strong, and you might think, how can they go along with this, is because they feel marginalized, which seems crazy for, white cis men in America, but they do feel that way. And as a result, they feel justified to do horrible things like storm the Capitol. But also on the flip side, if you're more liberal, you see Trump as the devil, and again, it's so I do like that. And that is a very shades of gray area.
Yeah.
I think that is it. It's essentially the Jedi reckoning with the fact that for all these movies and all these stories we've come along, and even in the Bad Batch, which we watched earlier this year, one side was evil in the final series. One side was evil for taking kids to study their M count and try to replicate that. Is that not what the Jedi did? Like, is that kind of not? They just manipulated it for their politics and what they believed and what they thought was right.
If anything, the Jedi were worse. They
Yeah,
could think about it. They indoctrinated these kids to never go back and see their parents again, never go back and see their family and friends again, and to just live this life of the Jedi. I think
exactly.
that's worse. Or
Yeah,
it's just, or anything, it's just as bad. You're like, fucking hell, this is crazy. When you actually think about it, you're like,
yeah.
it's
One of
it's like
those.
it's like that meme. Are we the bad guys? You
Yeah,
know,
it's civil Captain America Civil War, where it's like, if you watch the movie and you listen to the story as told and the narrative they tell you, Captain America seems like the right person. But if you actually think about what it would be like in real life, he's wrong. He's evil. Tony Stark is right. Superheroes need to be put under control. Like, and similar to the Jedi, it's like, this is not what we want. Like, this is not the way it should be. So great one. And I want to also get your thoughts on another theory that the series is starting. We have this mysterious Sith creature. It kind of, and again, this is why some people are upset, because it flies in the face of a lot of things we've been told. For example, the Sith were gone 1,000 years before Sidious showed up as Palpatine. But again, here we are 100 years before kind of the timeline we're familiar with, and there's a big fucker with a red lightsaber and seeming very Sithy. It seems like the Sith, though, is someone we've already met. If you know stories and you know this, it'd be very unlikely that it's like, oh, look, somehow Palpatine pre-returned. I don't think they're going that way. But who do you think it is? Who do you think it can be? Where's your kind of leaning on that?
Now, I love all those theories that the guy that gave one of the twins the poison that it's not him.
It is him. It's him.
It's not him.
Jason. It is.
It's not him. It's not him.
I really want to be him.
The voice, obviously, I think the voice is not the giveaway, but you listen to the voice, and it's purposely made to be very low and to be very male sounding, and it's not. It's a woman.
Oh,
I think it's one of the mothers.
Oh, okay.
I think because as you said, that flashback was seen from a certain point of view, and that's exactly what Star Wars is. Certain things from a certain point of view. So we've seen it from one side. So how do we know all those women were actually dead? We don't. We thought May was dead. We thought, oh, that's it. She's fallen. Boom, she's gone. Dead. But she's not dead. So I genuinely do think it's actually one of the mothers, because to me it makes sense, because there are no Sith. Well, they are around, but they're hidden away. Whereas this is a direct confrontation with the Jedi. So it can't be. So to me, it's exactly what we're talking about. Like, the Jedi involved themselves with these witches, and these witches weren't actually the bad guys, but they are the bad guys, and the Jedi made them the bad guys. So essentially, I think one of the mothers, and I'm thinking like the main mother. I don't know the name. The kind of the main mother.
Yeah,
I think it could be her. For the simple fact is that she just wanted to be left alone. She was the one who didn't want to fight the Jedi. She didn't want to go against them. It was the other one with the horns, essentially, that wanted to go and fight them. I think it's the one who didn't want to fight them, and then she's done a 180 and like, you know what? You just took my kids away. Fuck you, Jedi. I'm coming after you. And so I don't think it's a Sith. I think the red lightsaber is a red herring, and it's actually going to be one of the witches.
I would love if it was Jason.
I think it would be funny if it was.
It'd be.